Doctor, I'm amazed when I hear these numbers. The CDC, that is normally very conservative, is now telling us that deaths could drop below 100 a week by the end of the summer. What do you think?
Look, I think the outlook is very good for the summer. I think we might still have a lot of cases. We might never really get below 5,000 cases a day or so. That's because we're doing a tremendous amount of testing and we're going to pick up a lot of asymptomatic infection. But I think hospitalizations are going to decline sharply and deaths are going to decline sharply because more of the vulnerable population, more of the people who are very vulnerable to COVID, older individuals and others, are being vaccinated. They're getting protected through immunity. So I think we're going to see the morbidity, the mortality, the death and disease from COVID drop sharply through the summer.
Then do you think those who are a lot less vulnerable, i.e. kids, should get the vaccine? You're a parent. Do you think kids should be vaccinated?
Well, look, Pfizer has submitted an application requesting authorization for 12 to 15, and the public reporting is that FDA is on the cusp of authorizing the vaccine down to 12. I think younger than 12 is going to take longer. We may have vaccines available for 12 to 15 in a short period of time. But I think the kids under the age of 12, you have to reformulate the vaccines into lower doses. And those studies are underway. That development's underway. But I think it's likely to come towards the end of the year if it's going to be available this year at all. It might be a 2022 event.
Not when. Would you? You have kids. Would you vaccinate your kids?
Yeah, I will. I mean, my kids right now aren't eligible by age, but they will be soon. So once they're eligible, once they reach the age of 12, I would vaccinate them.
How confident are you that we currently have the tools to keep COVID variants from spreading again?
Well, look, it's a concern. So far, the variants that we've seen, the vaccines do appear to be protective against the variants that have surfaced to date. But some of those variants, the vaccines appear to be less effective. With some of those variants, it does appear to be the case that people who've been previously infected may be vulnerable to reinfection or more vulnerable to reinfection. But so far, it doesn't look like the vaccines are going to be completely defeated by these variants. What you worry about is that some of the mutations that we're seeing are going to combine in novel ways that create a strain that is going to pierce prior immunity and is going to defeat the vaccine. Sometimes in virology, if you have two different mutations, let's say the mutation that's in the South African variant, the mutation found in that Los Angeles variant, individually, those variants may not defeat the vaccine, but if you combine them together, sometimes 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. Sometimes you get a completely novel strain that behaves very differently, a process called epistasis in virology. So that's what you worry about. You worry about something completely novel emerging from these different mutations we're seeing.
People and businesses took trillions of dollars from the U.S. government when we needed help. Now the government is saying, help us, and asking people to take this vaccine. And there's still a lot of people saying, no, don't tell me what to do. If businesses, as they say they do, want to be safe and want to be leaders, should they be doing their part in helping the government's mission and push everyone, maybe even require people to take the vaccine?
I think businesses are reluctant to mandate the vaccine. I think that they're not going to step forward and do that, at least bigger businesses. There was a survey recently put out that said 60% of businesses are contemplating mandates. But I think at the end of the day, most of them are going to hold off on doing that. What they're going to do is survey their employees. And if they see a high uptake rate among their employees, I think that they're going to hold back the mandates because there is discomfort around people being told what to do by an employer. The exception, I think, is going to be consumer-facing businesses. I think you are going to see retail businesses, restaurants, summer camps. They're going to want to vaccinate their employees because they're going to want to advertise that. Businesses where they send workers into homes are going to want to be able to say all of our employees are vaccinated. So I do think you're going to see smaller businesses that are very customer-focused, consumer-facing. They might put in place some mandates.
Could you see a scenario where COVID vaccines are required for kids to go back to school? I mean, you can't take your kid to kindergarten in public school unless they're fully vaccinated. Could we see the COVID vaccine being added to that requirement list?
Yeah, probably not this fall. I've talked to governors, both Republicans and Democrats, and they're reluctant to see state mandates get put into place requiring vaccination for kids to return to school. I doubt ACIP, the advisory committee to the CDC, is going to make it a mandatory recommendation for return to school. You will see this play out at a local level. I think some local school boards, some districts will mandate vaccination, but it's going to be a very local fight across the country. I don't think you're going to see broad mandates either from the federal government, certainly, or from governors for that matter.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.